Hi, welcome to a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. This is a session of Bounty of the Week being run on the Gauntlet as part of Star Wars Saturday Special Edition, a full weekend of, frankly, the insane idea of running every single RPG system in the setting of Star Wars. This is one of the more sane versions of it, I think. Bounty of the Week, a reskin of Monster of the Week by a creator whose name I am blanking on right now, but who is a very lovely chap and does all kinds of great stuff. And this is the Bounty of the Week hack. As a Gauntlet game, Michael Sands, that's just suddenly come to me. So as a Gauntlet game, we will be playing with a full range of safety tools, lines, veils, X cards, and everyone here, we've played together multiple times, so we won't go over these on camera, but you know, if you're watching this, you should definitely use them in your game. And let's begin by introducing our cast tonight, starting in the character keeper. Sabine, would you like to introduce yourself? No, not Sabine, sorry. Alexi, would you like to introduce yourself, your extremely cute offspring, and your character?
Absolutely. So I'm Alexi Sargent, he, him. You can follow all of my gaming endeavors online at Cloven Pine Games. This is Beatrice. She's just spectating for a moment, but she probably won't be watching the whole of this game, right, Beatrice? I'm playing in this game Falun Zebedef. She is a Chiss female with a contemplative face and utility clothes. She has the expert playbook, so she's been at this a while. She's was an NPC in another Star Wars Saturdays game, and I'm bringing her back as a PC. So she was once a bounty hunter, then worked with a mining union on an asteroid, and now she's in the game again because she needs to relocate her mining colleagues somewhere far away and safe from the vengeful Besh Corporation. Yeah, I think those are the key things to know.
Great, thank you, Alexi. And then we have Sabine.
Yeah, hi, my name is Sabine. I use any pronouns. Today I'm playing Quake, he, him pronouns. Quake is a clone, pretty old by now, but the older the merrier, I guess. I've played Quake a lot, and he has a long history of stuff going on. And right now he's back to bounty hunting because he had made an enemy of a guy named Pandit Morg, who's a force-sensitive Black Sun boss, and he really likes to get that guy off his back. So
nice.
He is, I should say, he uses the agent playbook. He works for, he is part of a organization called the Unbound. They're a sort of sub-guild of the bounty hunters and the mercenaries guild, and maybe they're pirates, who knows. And they have the tags of, I think I gave them safe houses and underworld sources because they know a lot of people who are pirates, incidentally, and fences and stuff like that. And they have dubious motives. I mean, they want to free. Freedom is their motive, which whatever that means, and whoever they want to free, right? And they are at war, among others, with the Black Sun and Singe's Empire and Zagarian slavers and everybody who wants to enslave people, basically. They don't like that.
Very nice. Those are the tags I would definitely have chosen for the Unbound when I was having a contemplation about it. And then we have I don't know how to say, the Jedi Master of the Temple of Star Wars Sundays, Saturdays. The great old wide one, or whatever. I'm running out of Star Wars. The Grand Chancellor. Here we go.
The Grand Moff of Star
the
Wars
Grand
Saturdays.
Moff. There we go. Yes. He's muted.
I was too busy laughing. Hey, I am Rich. I use the he, him pronouns. And I, for this game, have chosen to play a person named Tags Earthburner, a Twi'lek. She has appeared in a number of games. She started off as just a crew member on the Desert Rose.
Flower.
And Desert Flower. Thank you. All right. Geez.
Sorry.
She started off as a crew member on the Desert Flower. Start again. Yeah, I'm not the Jedi Master. Started on the Desert Flower, and then she got involved in a lot of things. She was involved in a relationship at some point with Keltrazik, the bounty hunter extraordinaire, who later went to join the New Republic. She also was seen at the Starfighter Academy and was trying to be a starfighter, but washed out for some reason. And now she's maybe, I think, used her Unbound contacts to try to get some kind of gig. And that gig that she got was being a bounty hunter. I think her goal, her drive, is that she wants to open like a cantina of her own. That's her goal. So she's got to raise a lot of money, and the best way to raise money is hunting bounties, right? Yeah. So she's a trainee. She's not very good at this, but she's got a lot of pluck, and I think pluck's important, right?
Yeah.
That's a stat. Pluck.
You've got more charm than any of us.
So much more charm. Oh, I gotta figure out her stats. I didn't finish up her stats because I was waiting to see everybody else's stats. Cool. I'll work on that.
If you could do that while we get to another person with a, let's say, history with the protagonist of Star Wars Sundays, Keltrazik. No.
Oh, Keltrazik is the okay.
It's my protagonist, so yeah.
Hi everyone, I'm Greg. I use he, him pronouns. I'm playing Zop Boops, who also uses he, him pronouns, who has a long and sordid history with bounty hunting. Zop is a Rhodian, a sort of grayish blue Rhodian. He has multiple piercings on an ear. They may or may not be related to bounties. It's never been clear. Zop is the initiate playbook, previously the knight. Zop belongs to a group of bounty hunters that goes back throughout galactic history called the Tanwa clan, who he is repeatedly not in the good graces of. Zop likes to fancy himself both an excellent bounty hunter and a Rhodian opera aficionado. In a previous game, Zop's drive to have his own blood opera written about him was widely panned by a critical audience and closed early. The run was not completed. So Zop is now refocusing his duties on the Tanwa clan, and his drive is to unite and control the Tanwa clan diaspora. Zop also lost his hand. I just want to point this one out. So my one little advance I took for Zop is that he now has detachable parts. His left hand can come off and be used separate from his body. The Tanwa clan has ancient lore and signature technology, which is their vibroblades. They also have secrets, and I took Schism as I felt that was sort of appropriate because the Tanwa clan is falling apart in Zop's eyes because it lacks his leadership. Yeah, I think that pretty much covers it.
I like that losing your hand can be an advance in a Star Wars game.
Zop is not the first Star Wars Saturday's character that has returned multiple times and lost limbs. So yeah,
it's pretty much the standard character arc for a Star Wars protagonist, as far as I can tell. Okay, so let us now go around and do with all of our hunters here are crewing on a ship called the Heat Blur, which belongs to Faelun. Stole this mining ship from Beshtek as part of their mission to save their fellow miners from Besh's clutches, and it is infamous because of its stolen history with the corporation. It is very conspicuous because it has a very distinctive engine wake that leaves sensor and hyperspace distortions and burns bright green, unlike the majority of repulsor lift drives in Star Wars, which burn blue. But it does have very heavy armor, and it has this handy little transponder that Zop found somewhere that just scrambles continuously, meaning that you can easily spot the heat blur from a distance, but it's very hard to find any record of it being anywhere, because the record keeps saying these things like the drying fundark, or the crying
Sunspark.
Yes, exactly. It's keeps rotating. It's almost as though someone messed with this transponder far too many times. But you know, due to its big, thick mining hull, it is also very cramped inside. And that's a heat blur. And this is the crew of the heat blur. And let us now ask Feilun, is there a history that you would like to throw out there for the other players to pick up?
Yeah, let me start with the easiest one here. They came to you for advice, and your advice got them out of trouble. And I asked them what that trouble was. Who wants to? Does anyone want to have come to me for advice? Turn to me for my expertise.
I can do that.
Okay.
Nice. Yeah, quick. What trouble were you in that you needed to turn to Feilun?
Oh, and I will write this in, Alexi, because I can see you've got a very important thing in one hand. So I will type it for you.
Okay, so
thank you.
your expertise. Let me think. So yeah, I think, the trouble I was in was that I think I lost something and I had to find it again. It's not my armor. We did that before, so it's something else. It's probably not even. Oh yeah, I think that's something the Unbound actually lost, and they lost a ship.
Oh,
Like
okay.
And it was a transport ship, but and on that transport ship were some people, like family of veterans, and they wanted them back quite badly. And oh no, sorry, I'm spitballing it. That's not. They lost a medical ship.
Okay.
Like with people who were kind of injured and had to be treated on that special ship, and they kind of lost it because some not Unbound pirates took it, and to find it again, Quake had to ask you to help him find that thing.
Maybe
ship.
I even built something in my workshop that was able to track the ship down.
So Quake
Nice.
came to Feilun after the Unbound lost a medical ship to pilots. Feilun crafted a tracker that allowed the Unbound to rescue their comrades. Yeah, that seemed like a good history.
Absolutely.
Nice. And then we move on to Quake himself. Would you like to throw a history out there to the others?
I think maybe, and it says here guild house a lot, but I imagine that this is the agency, right? Not a guild house.
Yes, I have not been diligent enough to rename every mention of the guild house.
No, that's fine.
I'm not Rich Rogers. I'm not going to do that level of effort.
I'm a bit disappointed. But it's fine. I think
I take the blame on that. I should have went through and fixed that.
It's fine. Come on, it's fine. I'm not blaming anyone. It's okay. None of you got paid 1,000 credits by me for doing any of this. So whoever chose this pulled me and maybe my team out of a terrible, disastrous mission.
Okay.
So who did that?
I'd suggest Zop and Tags, perhaps.
I was going to say Zop. So Quake and Zop have met before and have served together on another ship, which we'll remember at some point with his encyclopedic memory.
I have to be in the game to
that's okay.
to know about it.
So yeah, I think it was that. It was that mission on the moon with the combat droids.
The weapon,
yeah,
and with the weapon and thingy. Yeah, but the Jedi who said no, we can't give the weapon to anyone. We have to broker peace.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, given that this is Star Wars, is a living continuity, I would love if we just use that as the prompt, right?
Yep.
Like
I love that.
Yep. Zop and Quake hunted down a rogue Jedi, was it?
No.
It was an Imperial super weapon.
Yeah.
Oh.
Brokered peace on an Imperial super weapon.
Brokered a peace over an Imperial super weapon.
Yeah.
On a previous hunt. Was it a previous hunt? Yeah.
Yeah.
That was David MK's game of Bounty of the Week, I believe, Rich.
No,
that
that was,
was
no,
Impulse
that was
Drive.
Rich.
Impulse Drive.
Rich. That
Was
was
it?
one. That
Oh my
was
God.
that was so long ago, Rich. That was 3 years ago or something. It's the first
so
time I played
bad.
Quake. So
Rich, you've run so much Star Wars Saturday.
So I can't remember it all. I'm so bad.
Sorry, that my assumption was because Rich didn't remember it at all. That it had to be somebody else, but there we go. So tags. Would you like to throw one out?
I
And again,
would.
you can use one of your tenuously pre-existing, cameo appearances.
Let's see. Let me find where someone actually listed out the history.
I imagine who did that.
I don't know who did that. So Zop met Tags in the Desert Flower, not the Rose.
Yeah, I
Board of
sold
the
out one of your
Wraith.
teammates.
Yeah, you sold out one of my teammates.
I committed a very public assassination using Tags's ex-captain's. Oh no, it wasn't your captain. It was one of your shipmates. Idents.
Yeah, it was fenced.
So
yeah.
Zop framed one of your ex-shipmates for murder.
I think that's it. I'm a bit suspicious of them.
Zop may remember that.
Tags will remember that. yeah.
I'm a bit suspicious of Zop.
Nice. And then finally, the man himself, the Rhodian himself, Zop. You have, I think we already have connections with Quake and Tags there.
I'm interested in my relationship with Felun for sure. I'm thinking maybe that Felun has an affinity for Zop's culture and ways, which could only be dangerous. Or that the Tamil Club perhaps helped the mining organization at one time. And what does Felun owe Zop?
Ooh, either of those could be cool. Can you tell me a little bit more about your culture and ways?
Sure. So the Tamil, I don't really know much. Tamil clan, they are a mysterious Rhodian bounty hunting cult that has existed for a really long time. And they're not all Rhodians. Non-Rhodians can be a member of the Tamil clan. But they generally just send you a secret message and you have to do something super shady that goes against the interest of your shipmates.
Well, that's tempting. I mean, Falun was in the bounty hunting game and then left it and has gone back to it. So maybe at some point in this checkered history, she was connected to this. Maybe she got some training from this clan while she was starting off. Does that sound good?
Okay, that sounds great. So Felun has Tanwa clan training. Ask them why. Oh yeah, okay. And I'm going to say it could be useful in reuniting the diaspora. At least that's how Zop sees it.
Yeah, I'm sure. I don't think Falun necessarily sees it that way, but I'm happy for that to be your perspective on it.
Excellent.
Nice. So, we will. I will do a quick introduction as you exit hyperspace. In fact, let's just ask right now. Would you guys prefer to do a single 10-minute break and then do an hour and a half at the end of it, or would you prefer a break on a 5-minute break every hour? Anyone has a preference? Please speak your piece. No one has any preferences. I'm going to go straight for we're going to take our first break at 3:30 my time then, at 3:30 the hour. So we'll take a 10-minute break in the middle of the game, basically, rather than 3. Yeah, I could see a certain amount of confusion at how I explained that then. So hopefully that made sense. Cool. So you guys have been have taken a bounty for one Lablo Reenjax. I've managed to close my session notes. That's wonderful. Sorry, I've done the thing of having too many windows. Labla Reenjax. Yes, half-hour time zones. Baffling. Cambodia's in a half-hour time zone. It really blew my mind to think that. And now I have to find the Tatooine repo notes again. I apologize, and I still can't spell Tatooine. But you've been sent to by Beshtek, in fact. This is a bounty from Beshtek.
It's a Beshtek bounty?
It is a Beshtek bounty, but luckily it's all going through brokers, right? So
They
maybe it won't
know.
have any problems.
It's me.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is, times are tough, and this is what the guild had on offer. I wrote this as a Beshtek one before we had a thing, so that's a nice little wrinkle in there, isn't it? And Labla Reenjax is a pilot. He's a cargo hauler, in fact, who works out the Corellia sector. And he got into some trouble in a synthol related incident over Sullust. There was some embarrassment. Words were exchanged. Paint was scratched. Cargoes were lost. And Blablo was basically cut out of his arrangement with Beshtek, his former business partners. And they called in their debts to him. And they claimed that the ship, the Graceful Gundark, not to be confused with the other Gundarks, again, written before I knew about the Flying Gundark. He absconded with it. He claimed that he was done wrong. He stole the freighter, all the cargo, and he took out for the Outer Rim. And someone spotted the Graceful Gundark in the Tatooine wastes over a place called Mos Racina, a very remote trading outpost and way station out in the Racina wastes in Tatooine. And as we, as the crawl comes down, hunted! Labla Reenjax has stolen the Graceful Gundark from his employers at Beshtek, earning a bounty upon his head. Our heroes have found themselves following the disgraced pilot out to Tatooine. But what will they find amid the sands? And then hyperspace in, and the camera pans down to show the twin suns of Tatooine as it goes, as the heat blur shimmers through the void towards it. And so, I mean, what's the plan, guys? Like, Felun, you're piloting the ship? Yeah.
That's
where
correct.
What's your current heading?
So the locations we have are Mos Racina or the Racina Wastes.
Yes, at the moment you know that he's somewhere in this region of Tatooine. The Racina Wastes are vast. The Mos Racina itself is the nearest, inhabited place.
Yeah.
If you are far away from the bright spot of the center of the universe, you're at the furthest point within that far away point, basically.
I say we head down to this, this backwater, Mos Racina, and ask around, see if we can scrounge any useful information.
Cool. I think that's easy enough. Tatooine doesn't really have much in the way of space patrol or anything like that. You hear that ever since Jabba the Hutt died, there's been a bit of a power vacuum on the planet. Some fat Twi'lek, Bib Fortuna, he's taken it over, but who takes him seriously, right? Just sits on that throne, watching his ass grow. So you come in for a landing in Mos Racina, and I will now expose the thing that as you guys leave, there is, you land a bunch of Jawas from the similarly named but entirely IP distinct Tenwa clan, not the Tanwa clan. who have got little diasporas all over the SWS universe. They, fuss over your ship and start to pull something from the side of it, Quake, as you guys leave the ship. Does anyone stop the Tenwa from?
Maybe we should, because we want that ship at least in one piece, right? So maybe I'll go over, explain to them in a not very friendly fashion that this is our ship, that they should keep their hands off it unless they want to have cyber hands.
I think that's a very good role to manipulate someone, with the reason being, don't mess with my ship or I will do to you what I did to him, and you point to Zop.
Okay. Manipulate is with charm for some reason, which I'm not good at. Yeah,
I've got your back. Tags will stand behind Quake and cross her arms menacingly.
Nice.
Kind of shows her teeth. She's got the sharpened, incisors there.
Okay.
I mean,
so if you fail the roll, then there is a call. We can take it as granted there's been a call for aid.
Yeah, I don't think we're technically fighting an enemy, so I don't know if that fulfills the move Power of Heart, but
okay. I don't think it
does.
No.
Yeah, but I'm here to help is what I'm trying to establish.
Yeah.
Tag's got Quake's back.
In the
Yeah,
background,
that's
Falloon
fine.
turns to Zop and is like, "You're sure about this, kid?"
Okay. I mean, this will probably end in violence then. Yeah, it's a 6. This will end in violence.
6.
So I'm better at violence than at talking anyway.
It all goes and they start. You see the glint of something underneath the robes, and then Tag's Earthburner steps forward and rolls to help.
Yeah.
Right. So I believe you need to roll with charm, I imagine, Rich.
Yeah, that sounds good. I think, rolling with charm to help out. So let me see how this goes. Good luck to me.
Yeah.
All right, I've got a modifier of 2. Wow, I rolled snake eyes.
Wow. Well, my result
Okay.
drops to 6 minus. Oh.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Well, yeah. The knives glint underneath their beady yellow eyes, and then one of them goes, and they draw themselves up, and they bow low to both of you, and they back away, sidling away from the ship entirely.
I really wish I spoke Java.
I'm sure it's fine. Good job.
I don't
Hey.
trust this.
We scared
These
them off.
things.
What? How could this be bad?
Just wish I knew. I've got a bad feeling about this.
You resolved everything with those Jawas, right?
Yeah.
It's great.
All right, let's go ask around then. See what we can find out about this bounty.
So, Mastrosina is a very small place. There is a remote trading outpost and way station that supports just a few nearby moisture farms. A basic landing field indicates that maybe some sort of off-the-books smuggling has run through here, something that, so far off the beaten track that the Hutts wouldn't even know that it was taking place. But it contains a small trading outpost run by the Tenwa clan. They're sort of, it's kind of like a pimped out sand crawler. Is parked alongside Racina's walls, where it is often found. And it also has a cantina, which sort of forms the hub of the outpost. The last oasis that's run by an old Bith explorer named Thoza Thavis. Where do you start? Let's go with Zop. Where do you start your hunt, Zop?
So Zop is going to go to this last oasis. It's time that Zop checks in with the clan a little bit, or whatever's left of the clan. And they're usually found. Parts of them can be found in the shady cantinas of the universe. Kind of saunters in, takes a look around, eyes up the patrons. Who does Zop believe to be the contact?
The contact. Oh, for the you come in and you see a rather large man, regards himself as self-important, surrounded by a couple of flunkies, and he looks dismissively at you as you walk in, and you hear him lean over and he says, more and more scum coming through the sector these days, I swear. My boy was here. Well, we cleaned this place up, I swear. And then you are greeted by a Bith explorer, the Bith cantina owner, a former explorer, Thoza Thavis, who nods at you from across the bar as his medical droid, Fix 23, which has been repurposed as a bartender, erratically starts pouring drinks for the Huff Darklighter and his men. And Thoza Thavis sees you and says, Tanwa, interesting.
Yes. Business in the sector. And slides over the bounty puck, right? And I'm gonna do when you still hold. So this is the way. When you still hold to the ways of your people, I'm gonna roll plus sharp, which I took at -1 because Zop is so good at interacting with the clan. Here we go. That's a 6. On a miss, the people's taboos or enemies will prove dangerous.
You want backup on that, or are you cool with taking a miss there?
I'm cool with I'm cool with Felon helping out here a little bit. You came to the cantina as well?
Yeah, I was thinking I was probably in the cantina asking around, trying to find out stuff about our bounty. So I guess what sort of help would be helpful?
I mean, the Tanwell clan has like little flowers. That's sort of the insignia thing. Do you actually still have one?
Oh, like a very, like maybe I've like preserved it in a book or something.
Yeah, it's a very subtle little metal pin kind of thing.
Oh, okay. It's a metal pin. Yeah.
Can we make the schism in the Tenwa clan be reflected by a white flower and a red flower? Because that would be that's doable.
No, I wore the white rose in my wedding. Anyways,
nice.
that's where my family's from. Okay, so
I honestly don't even know which one's which, frankly. But
yeah, so that would be great. Yeah.
Do you need like the other, like you've got one flower, but you need the other flower to show that you're like that you like have no ill will towards any side
that
of
we're
the
reuniting? Yeah, getting the band back together.
I like the guess. So Zop shows up and he says all of it, and Thoza says, Tanwa clan used to be so noble and so proud, and then you split. You bring your war here, Zopbu. I've heard of you.
And then I appeared next to Zop, and I like flash the other flower, and it's like, we're not here to make war. We're here to bring about peace.
And he takes the two things and he pushes them together into the old signia of the thing, and he'll go, perhaps the old ways still have meaning then. For this, they'd certainly do for this old explorer.
So should I roll for helping?
Oh yes, you should roll, because if this is a 6, actually, I got ahead of myself.
Cool. What's the appropriate stat here for stepping in?
I'd almost go with sharp, I think,
Yeah.
because I think it's more about your knowledge than your charisma here.
Reading a bad situation. Yeah.
Strongly support that. Where's our rolling room? Oh, here it is. Thank you. Yeah, rolling with sharp is definitely good for me. Help Zop roll. That's a 13.
Nice. So that bumps it up to a 7 to 9, which means I hold 1 and you hold 1.
I'll use that immediately to get some intel on the hunt. Looking
hunt.
for, yes, the hunt. So it's looking for Lablo.
I don't know any Lablo. I don't know. He given the sort of the brief description. He says, I don't know any Ardenians. Not someone in these parts.
How about the ship? Have you seen a Beshtek hauler around here?
I haven't, and he leans in. But a certain wealthy client here may be looking to a deal with such a pilot of such a ship. And he gestures meaningfully over at Huff Darklighter. If what you say is if your bounty is taking cargo, I presume you would have to unload it somewhere. And Huff Darklighter as well. Huff Darklighter's a big man about these parts.
He carries himself like one.
Yes, it's a shame. He's never been quite the right since he's lost his son in the Death Star attack. I wouldn't bring that up if I were you.
Grabs the bounty puck and pockets it. Tips the droid. And then
and he
does the whole like turning around to the bar and leaning back, checking out Darklighter now.
So the Thavis, let's see.
Do we want to cut to where Quake and
yeah,
Tags
no,
are?
I'm just wondering about that hold and how to spend it against you and how to frame it, just contemplating it. Because I think fictionally I like the idea of it being something here and with Fosa Favis. And I think that Fosa Favis is it's just simply going to ask Zop, you're a knight of the Tanwa clan, correct? You hold its way. It's way. You still hold to the way?
Of course.
Good. Then you'll be ready.
Forever.
And he, however a bit smiles. He leaves it at that. Okay. Now let's cut over to Tags Quake.
Yeah, thing is, this is the spaceport here, right? Where we're at. And I imagine that Zop is not the kind of guy who goes about subtly and claims not to be a bounty hunter. He's known for being a bounty hunter anyway. So I imagine sooner or later someone will come for our ship or come to the spaceport. So I'll find a kind of vantage position where I can observe things, and then I'll start just checking out the vicinity and see what's going on, because sooner or later someone will come and shoot at us. This is my experience of my life. Sooner or later somebody comes and shoots at me. So
okay, so would you like to investigate a bounty in the fictional sense of just staking out Mos Racina for
because we're not at a bad situation yet, right?
No, not yet.
No, investigate a bounty is a good thing. I'm rolling with sharp. which I'm better at than charm. Why did I name my role quick? Um,
Oh, and one thing I didn't make explicit is written down though is you each get 3 bounty for returning Lablo Reenjax alive. There is a substantial bonus if you can retrieve the ship and the cargo.
Yeah.
A lesser bonus for one or the other, basically.
Okay. I'm rolling. That's a 10.
That's a 10, nice. So you hold 2 to ask any of those questions.
Yeah, I want to know what might complicate things.
So you're watching and you see some of the Darklighter estates. You know, they've got a heavy like cargo like speeder off that sits on its repulsor lifts, and you see 2 of them, the security guards there, exchanging words, and you know, they got they still got raiders out there, Tuscans, the Kurtusk clan. We should watch out for those. If our guy doesn't come in, you know, he's going to tell us to go. He's going to make us go out there after that cargo. You know. Oh man, I still haven't pulled out the cycler bullet out from my thigh from the last time.
I should clean your weapons. I'm just muttering. I'm not
Yeah.
saying it to them.
So the complication is that the Kurtusk clan have basically have a non-aggressive pact with the locals of Mostracina, but in the Wastes, anyone is fair game, and the Darklighters seem to believe that that their contact, probably Reenjax, is out in the Wastes.
Okay. So, well, where does the trail lead next? Seems to almost answer itself here.
Perfect.
Right?
You can get a more specific location.
Yeah.
And the other guy says, "Oh, and he's going to be deep in their territory. You know, way out there, past the canyon, past the ridge."
Okay. Nice. Yep.
And you know what? Because you did ask what might complicate things, I'll throw in. He says, all the way out in the world. And I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, I like it.
You'd have to ask someone specifically about that. Oh, yeah.
Well, I think I'll wait for the kid and tell her to find that out, because asking people for stuff is kind of not my forte unless they're wounded and I can exchange medical advice.
So currently we have, you know, the clues as laid out is Huff Darklighter is looking to buy. And the Kurtusk clan, Tuscan clans have no vowels in them whatsoever, as far as I could tell. So are out in the Wastes, and so is your bounty in the world. And so let's go to tags. What would you like to do, tags?
Yeah, tags tried to just tag along with people, but they all went different ways. I think there's got to be something scary around here that she'll go check out to make sure there's no problem.
Something scary around Mostracina. I think the scariest thing in Mostracina are the thugs of the Darklighter clan.
Oh, okay, yeah. I saw that guy.
Yeah.
Very scary to me. This is fine.
And you're going to rock up to Huff Darklighter himself?
Yeah.
Why, hello there. Don't get many Twi'leks this far out in the waste.
Well, I'm from a desert planet, so
Hmm.
it's not so bad here.
No, you were certainly popular over at Jabba's palace. Could have made a nice living there while it lasted.
I'm not that good of a dancer, honestly.
And he just leers at you like,
Your son was a rebel pilot, right?
my son was a hero left to die by that filthy no good boy, Skywalker. Him and his family, nothing but trouble. That whole thing, just a false damn lie. Who are you? Who are you to even say my son's name? Biggs was a hero, goddammit.
I know. I tried to train to be a starfighter pilot, and there was this trophy, a Darklighter trophy. I think it was named after your son. Pretty cool. I didn't win it.
They'd take my son's name even after they killed him.
I think it was to honor him and his sacrifice.
And
you did talk about it a little bit.
You thought that you could even compare to Biggs.
Well, I washed out, so I guess not.
Yeah, I guess not. This desert's gonna eat you up and spit you out, girl.
I don't know about that. We're looking for an Ardenian.
Looking for an Ardenian?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking for an Ardenian too.
Are you? How come?
Well, he's got certain property of mine, a trade. And he leans in and he leers over at you and he says, you came in on that hunk of junk with the green drive, right? That's a Beshtek ship, if I'm not mistaken.
So Falloon is like trying to like gesture to Tags to like, cut this out, cut bait on talking to Huff here. I have no idea if it's succeeding, but that's what she's trying to convey. Because I was over at the bar in the same.
Yes. I think that you've had your exchange, and then in the background you caught the suddenly Tags. But I'm just looking at Tags. Whenever you go off somewhere yourself to check out somewhere or something scary. So in fact, I'm going to say, perhaps we can help each other out here. Come into my office. And he nods over at Thingy, and he just steps into the side room, treating it as though it's
good.
his own.
Yeah, that's good.
So Faelun, you do see them leaving into another room, but
I've got this.
Yeah.
Zop takes his cybernetic hand and just puts it on Faelun's shoulder, like, let's see.
You want to give her a moment to investigate this?
So that's you on the heat blur there, is that right?
Oh, yes, the heat blur.
Wow, that's fascinating. I hear Beshtek really wants that back, really wants the pilot of it back as well.
Really?
Oh yeah.
No, I'm pretty sure that she bought it fair and square. I mean, why would you go hunt bounties if you've stolen something? That makes no sense.
Indeed. And he smiles. Can I get you a drink, little one?
Oh, thank you. Yes.
Yeah, so that's your ship out there, and it's that the Chiss at the bar is the one who pilots it?
Why don't we trade questions? You said you were looking for the Ardenian. What do you know about him?
Oh, he's a pilot on hard times. I'm really doing him a favor. I like to engage in a bit of community outreach out here. So many poor lost souls come out to Tatooine, and I'm just, hoping to, help the poor fellow out and take some cargo off his hands.
Oh,
Now, if somebody wanted to help him find his way back home, then I suppose as long as I, manage to fulfill the dire needs of my community and take the cargo, well, then our business will be at an end. And Mr. Reenjacks could go with whoever wished.
What kind of cargo does he have?
Oh, valuable. Nothing too valuable stuff, but very important to the poor, struggling moisture farmers of Tatooine. Most of them can't afford any Tabana gas.
What do they use Tabana gas for in a Tatooine farm? It's
Oh,
used
well.
for blasters and stuff.
Oh, all kinds of agricultural things out here in Tatooine. All kinds. So he's offering you a deal. He doesn't care. In fact, it's great for him. He knows where Lablo Reenjacks is. He's supposed to be meeting him here. He's not arrived, but he could go out there and, he's more than happy to stab Lablo Reenjacks in the back and hand him over to bounty hunters as long as that cargo gets left behind.
And just so I'm clear, returning the cargo is an extra on our bounty, right?
Yes.
That was on the read.
Yeah.
We get extra for the ship and even more extra for the cargo.
Yes. Yeah.
Cool.
I kind of hand wave this every time I do any of the bonuses, just because I want to sort of be able to reward, like give more to people who've got less and stuff like that. But so at the moment we're looking at I think 2 for the ship, 2 for the bounty.
Got it.
So you'd be walking away with a total of 7 bounty if you get everything. Each, by the way, not split between you. I found the math much easier to do if I just made it per player rather than pool. So that's the thing. So Tex, he says, now, why don't you just think that over while I make a call?
Okay.
Yeah. And he leaves and door closes behind him. And you hear a boop.
I mean, I've got to get up, walk, and stick my ear to the door and listen in. Quake, that's what Quake would do.
Yeah.
Where did Huff leave the cantina to go? Like, is Huff out in the outside of the cantina making this call?
Yeah, Huff came out the door that he went through. You see him turn around, move a dial on the side of the door, gesture over at one of his men. You see the Biff shake his head wearily and shrug. And then Huff nods at the two of you with a big smile and walks out.
Hey, barkeep. What did Darklighter just do over there?
Oh, Darklighter's commandeered my office for his own purposes. Claims to hold the lease to the whole of Mos Racina. It's easier just to let him have his way. I think he's going back out to his cruiser, to his speeder, make a call.
And that dial on the door?
Well, that's the lock, of course.
Yeah, right. Okay. Thank you. I turn to Zap. So, you want to break tags out, or you want to tail Darklighter to find out what he's up to?
I'll get the door.
I'll follow Darklighter.
I will convey what I've found out at one point to the rest of you, because yeah, we shouldn't cover the same ground twice. That's kind of boring.
Oh yeah, let's assume that unless otherwise said, general things like that are relating between scenes and stuff, like yeah. And so You're going to follow Darklight, Phelan.
Yeah,
Okay.
and possibly as I'm doing so, I might be trawling through my memories for something relevant to the case at hand as I try to synthesize the various information we've gathered here.
Okay.
So can I make a dark past roll?
You can make a dark past roll.
Yeah. You've set me up for it, I feel like, by having all this Besh tech machinations in the background here. So I'm wondering if I know anything more about the bounty or his cargo, or why the Tatooiners would want his cargo, right? And I'm going to make the roll to see if I can piece that together from my previous Besh tech work or anything like that. Cool. A 9 means I get one question from the list here. What hidden lore or tech do I know that could help here?
Have you ever been to to Tatooine?
Let's say yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, and I think this is I think it's something that you notice as you see Darklighter go over to his speeder, and you see him pulls a compartment down at the side, and out pops out like a little dish and a HoloNet relay and things. He's making a call off world.
Okay.
Right. And you see but the thing that you notice is that his cargo speeder has got I don't know, like subsonic mufflers. It is deadened the normal sort of acoustic echoes of repulsor craft that reverberates. It's something you've got to be very careful of in mining techniques. And Beshtech, in fact, pioneered one of these things. It means that it doesn't really leave any kind of like wake on the ground. So clearly, but they're very temperamental and hard to keep running like this. You can see that the Darklighter cargo speeder is equipped not to make any kind of trace as it goes through the wastes.
Almost like he's worried something's going to surge up from under the sands and eat him if he makes too much vibrational noise.
Yes, yeah. I mean, on Arrakis, that was terrible for right. But it's not the only planet in the world where mining's valuable resources requires not pissing off the local xenofauna.
Yeah.
So that is, I think, what you get for that hidden lore and tech here, right?
I buy it.
And
if he's got a HoloNet relay, is there like a little like hologram of who he's communicating with, or is he doing the equivalent of a long distance phone call?
You see the Beshtech logo come up on the screen.
Beautiful. Well, there's no way that can go badly for me.
Which is, I think, the moment when you're peering out from between two crates, right, staring at this speeder, when suddenly a voice from above you goes, "Oh, there you are." And Quake, who has been silent and steady as a rock the entire time, like just observing all of these things with solid clone trooper discipline, has blended into the background. And so you two are now, both of you, spying on the Darklighter speeder. Meanwhile, we cut back to...
Good to see you.
We cut back to Tags.
This door won't open. I think it's jammed or something. Weird.
Outside, Zop?
Is anyone in there with Tags, or is it just Tags in the room?
Just Tags locked in the room, basically.
Okay.
Darklighter is just basically putting someone useful on ice while he goes and sets another thing in motion, essentially.
Gotcha. So this doesn't actually hit to protect someone because Tags is not in imminent harm. So I think Zop, walks over, unhooks the hand from his left arm and throws it up into like vent, the air vent for whatever this
Hey,
for
you
this
know what?
cantina.
You know what? I actually much prefer the idea of it being someone. So the guy, you see the dark lighter guard on the comm stood outside the door, and he goes like, yeah, boss, I'll make sure I'll bring her right over.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you see him pull out a shock stick, and he swipes open the door, and Tags is pressed against it, right? And then like whoop, and then he just goes like pushes her, shoves her straight back into the room, and pulls out that shock stick.
Whoa,
So,
hey.
With the door open, Zop has been like drinking something at the bar, right? Whatever he tipped for. And he just slings it as fast as he can down the bar to hit the guy in the back to get his attention. And when the guard turns around, Zop is there with his vibroblade out.
Okay.
And
so let's see that roll plus tough to see how well this goes.
Yeah. Rolling to protect. Let's see. That's plus tough. Excellent. And I'm using my traditional weaponry, so I get +1/4. That's a +3. The one thing Zop is good at. Here we go. That is an 11. Nice. So on a 7+, you protect them okay, but you'll suffer all of the harm they get. On a 10+, I choose an extra. I'm gonna go with all impending danger is now focused on you.
Okay.
So the guard shock stick turns around, sees Zop, goes with the shock stick. The vibroblade goes right through his weapon. It just shatters in his hands. And I imagine he probably like backs up and runs out the door.
I think what happens is you slash that stop stick in half, right? And you flourish the blade, right, in typical Rhodian blood opera style, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Looking dashing as hell.
Yeah.
And the guy goes and throws the handle, and it bounces and just bounces off your head, letting out a load of sparks as it's flaring. And then he hustles. He yells, lets out a yell, and you see what his friend coming from the fresher pulling out a blaster. Because all impending danger is now on you. You've just had a full fight with 2 goons in there, and I think that's when it will cut to for our commercial break, right? With the thing, we'll take a break. We'll resolve this. Cool. So you see the Biff puts his hand up and he says, listen, you guys are gonna have to pay for any damages, all right? That's coming out of the Dark Lighter account. I'm not paying for anything you break, you bought. And that goes for you too, Tanwa.
Wait, if I break something, then Darklighter pays for it? She pushes a glass off the table.
Everyone just stands in stunned silence. And then you just hear the little whine of a blaster pack charging as the guy like takes advantage of this distraction to ready his gun and fire off a blast at Zop, exploding another rack behind him. The medical droid's bartender's arms are flailing wildly here. So Zop's just protected. Tags, what would you like to do? There are 2 guys. I think both of them are drawing their blaster pistols now. What would you like to do, Tags?
Oh, okay. I thought you were asking Zop what to do. Sorry, I apologize.
Zop leapt in to protect you and has drawn this upon himself. Cool. So now we'll go to...
Yeah, that sounds amazing. I guess we're in a fight now. And Tags
Zop will say, get out of the street. But, you can totally ignore that.
She's going to hop on a repulsor board and whip out her blaster pistol. And I mean, if Zop says, we're going to beat feet rather than have a knockdown, drag out fight, then she'll get out. That's fine. I'm
Okay.
totally happy to
Um,
run away.
I think that's an act under pressure to fly your way out of there. Probably
I
like
totally think she has like
skating
a
up
like
the
the
wall.
hoverboard is like a little like a hover skateboard kind of deal. That seems pretty trainy. So I'll do that. And acting under pressure is unfortunately rolling with cool. I have 0 cool.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. A 7.
So on a 7 to 9, I am going to give you. I think I'm just going to give you a price to pay, which is that you're going to make it out of that, and you're going to skate, and there's going to be blasted fire coming after you, but it is going to damage. As you come out and you think like, yeah, yes, and then you hear
Oh no.
as your hoverboard has been damaged.
Oh, it's a wipeout thing. Like she has to kind of bail.
I was
roll
imagining
with
it
it.
more as it just sort of like slowly loses altitude and then speed, like so you whip out and then it's like
She'll hop off, cape it up, and then throw it on her back. I'm sure Falloon will fix it.
and if you would like to mark that as damaged,
I will.
like put a line for it perhaps, something, or a
Yeah.
note or whatever, because my aim for this is that your gear gets damaged, you can spend a bounty to get it fixed. That bounty needs to go a lot of places basically. So meanwhile, outside, Quake and Feilun, you've been observing the Beshtek thing, and you see Darklight puff himself up after delivering a message to it, and he leans over to one of his to the guy who stood outside the thing, and he says, "Oh, well, even if this deal don't go through, we might get a little something from Beshtek anyways."
I think Darklighter's selling me out.
Yeah, I think we should move here.
I want that speeder of his. You see the modifications? It's built to move through the desert without attracting unwelcome attention. That's what those mufflers are for.
Oh, okay. Not personally a desert. But yeah, let's take it.
Is he still on his speeder, Will, or is he
If you wait a few moments,
moseying elsewhere?
he will start heading back towards the cantina, and he brings along his the other guard even. It's gonna he's left the speeder wide open because he intends to go back to that bar and grab up whichever members of your crew he can find.
Yeah, once he's far enough away, I make a beeline for the speeder and start hot wiring it.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I'm watching out for basically.
Well, then I think that with tags having vanished out into the alleyways behind thingy and running across, a guard, that guard who shot your thing comes running out, but like can't see you over, like, because I'm imagining like you flew up and over the walls of the nearby thing, right? And he's staring down the alleyway, completely dumbfounded as you start to Peter just in an alleyway next to it. We're leaving Zop facing another one of these goons in the bar. Fix 23 wildly flailing his arms and saying, "Please, gentlemen, let us sit down and have a drink and a kidney removal."
Can take the medical droid out of the med bay.
Yeah. Do we want to see Feloon's hot wiring first? Or
let's see Zops, because chronologically and narratively speaking, I feel that like you both need to be gone from this bar by the time Huff Darklighter gets there.
okay.
So,
I'm just kicking some sheds then. And I'm just trying to get out of the bar. Not shooting wildly, but covering fire.
blasters all have stun features as well.
That's true. used a lot in Bad Batch. 7. Oh,
I mean, he gets a shot off at you. You get a stun shot off him, which will be enough to.
yeah.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I get my way out of the bar and probably
Mhm.
like back into this alley as Falun gets into the speeder to start hot wiring it.
Yeah, he, the blue, he shoots and he hits you in the hand, right? The detachable hand.
Yeah.
And he's like, yes. And then you just go like, and stun him because it didn't hurt at all. So I'm going to say that's just 1 harm after your armor.
Okay.
2 harm for a standard blast pistol. Wasn't particularly strong. And you do the way I sort of imagining the stun is it's like 1 harm stun, close range, single shot, so yeah, and then he woof and collapses down on the ground, rolls over on his back with a smile, and the Bith just points towards the back door and says, well, see, the Tenwa clan handles things in its usual discreet style.
Yep.
And now we'll cut over to the hot wiring, possibly just in time for it to be hot wired for you all to pile into the back of it as you are chased out of town by a group of angry stevedores.
I feel like this
guards.
could plausibly end up with just all of us on one speeder heading into the desert. So,
And I have this leave no one behind move.
yeah, I was
So-
wondering if we wanted to roll into that, assuming I get the speeder
Yes, I think that's
properly
perfect.
hot wired. Is this a use technology, Will?
I think this is a use technology.
All right. Yeah, 'cause I'm trying to take over this thing. Sure. Let me roll plus tech on this. That's a 9. So I get 1 effect and 1 glitch. Can the effect just be I take control of the speeder? Because I'm not sure any of the listed
Yes.
effects are
Yeah,
exactly
that's-
this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. And
It's the default of do one thing that is beyond mundane humanoid limitations, which is most mundane humanoids can't activate a lock speeder.
yeah,
So,
yeah, but I'm not a mundane humanoid. I'm a bounty hunter. I will say the the effect is weakened, the effect of short duration. Those all sound bad, actually. I don't want the bike to, drop out from under us. Maybe just I take 1 harm, right? Like I get like zapped by the thing as I'm working on it. I just grip my teeth and push through and pull the wires and like, all right, here we go.
I think it's a case of like, see, totally easy, and then you reach to start it, and then that's when the last failsafe sort of fries you. Okay, now it's safe. Yeah.
I'd like kind of like kick the
Yeah.
speeder in retaliation after it zaps me. I'm like,
Should have
play nice.
You should have used gloves, really, when you reach into a machine. Just saying.
Thanks, Quake. Appreciate it.
Mm.
Climb on.
So I'm kind of imagining that like you guys get this started and you send this like, and it's like just little soft high-pitched whine, and it sets up, and it's this quite huge like flatbed at the back, right? Like it can fit plenty of space in there. And you bring it around onto the main strip, which is when you see Zop sprinting up, up the street, right? And you see Tags dragging behind a broken hoverboard, like banging it, being pursued by, from quite some distance away, Huff Darklighter, a very groggy looking goon, and then his other 2 men, each of you all of them running down the street, firing blasters wildly. think we're rolling into that move, right? Quick.
Yeah. Because I did med evac while droids were shooting at us, and this reminds me of that. So yeah, I will. This is more less than me flying over there, and then Sop will have a little cover, and then let's grab tags while I'm shooting at these guys and trying to provide kind of cover. Get out of this. If I make the move, it's with sharp, which is nice. So roll. Yeah, it's a 10. Nice.
It's a 10.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's a 10. Sometimes I can I'm actually good.
You get them
So
out
yeah.
clean.
We got them out clean. Yeah.
Nice. You a couple of blaster bolts. You make them duck down, giving it time for Feilun to slow down the ride, and your remaining 2 crew members to haul themselves up onto the back and lie flat on the back of the flatbed truck as it picks up speed and races out of town in true, last escape out of that 1-horse town in the posse kind of style.
Get in, losers. We're going bounty hunting.
What will those good old hazard boys do next? And you set off towards the Racina Wastes.
Yeah, and we're comparing notes, so we're aware there is a thing called the whirl, but
yeah.
I think none of us found out the answer to what that is.
Well, I mean, and rules, but that was water. I'm not sure. But I seem to recall that there is quicksand. So maybe it's something like that.
As you're you drive through, you can find I think that this is time for make a plan.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask about that.
Because I think this is you have a vague idea of where he is in the wastes, and as you move you may see further signs of perhaps where the Gundark is in this valley, but you've got to work your way through the Northwest Dune Sea, navigate potential Tusken Raider ambushes, and just because the engines are deadened doesn't mean that they won't attract great dragons entirely. Like if you don't do it the right way, right? Like if you bang into a wall or something, it's gonna happen.
Right. It's not autopilot. You still gotta be skillful and careful.
So if someone would like to propose the plan, that's who rolls.
I mean, I like to just try to go for it with as little fuss as possible. I mean, not really stealth, but just go straight for it.
It's a plan about pushing through,
being tough, strong, and implacable.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, that's what I was going for.
Yeah, straight speed. Yeah. All right.
So I think this is Quake then, who's making the roll here.
Roll with
using
cool.
the cool.
Okay.
Is the plan supported by plenty of resources and people?
We stole that speeder.
I'm going to give you that one. Yeah, entirely. Yeah. Are you basing the plan on accurate current information?
Yeah.
I don't think.
Sure. I mean, beyond the ridge, I have the information from these 2 guys talking where we need to go.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
We don't have any maps. We don't know what the whirl is. I'm not entirely sure we have accurate and complete information.
We have
not complete.
It's not complete.
It's not complete.
Current. It's not current.
It's definitely not complete.
It's not complete.
It's also not current because it's based on their last understanding of where it's.
Okay.
It's not a plus one.
Okay.
All right.
Take -1 into significant opposition that would interfere with the plan. Yes, there's a group of Tusken Raiders out here who would do. So that puts you on a flat roll, I believe. There's no significant dissent about what plan to follow, as far as I can tell. Everyone's on board.
We still get Quake's cool added to the roll, right?
Yeah.
We do, yes,
Right,
I just mean it's a flat, like
the bonuses cancel out.
Yeah. Okay. So let's see how that goes then. Yeah, if I could type, it would go better.
And I am going to
Can I ask just question for my own curiosity: is this move adapted from Monster of the Week, or is this an addition to the system?
Stolen from
Rich.
Zombie World.
Nice.
Stolen directly from Zombie World,
Okay,
Yes,
very
entirely,
cool.
yes.
which was
If-
inspired by Blaze in the Dark. I'm pretty
Right,
sure.
right. It feels in the tradition of PBTA
Yeah.
games pulling the engagement roll from Blades and turning
Yeah.
it into a way to cut to the middle of something, which I really, as you've seen, I've used that in multiple games of my design, so I support it entirely.
So I'm going to take this plan as you're going to go straight through the waist to the Gundark and directly confront Reenjax is like the plan, right? Because you're going to rock up in that speeder and he's also not a particularly dangerous bounty. Like he's some guy. So
I feel that we might be able to take care of him.
yes.
And
Cool.
I've rolled an 8, so it's reasonable.
Okay. Some part of your plan encounters unexpected difficulties or your party splinters, your choice. So what would you prefer out of that? Because I can think of ways to do both.
I think unexpected difficulties.
I vote unexpected difficulties too.
Yeah.
I think that
Yeah.
we should stick together as a party. at this
Yeah,
point, you
yeah,
know?
yeah. And
Yeah.
since we expect the Tusken Raiders, I think this has to be a Crate Dragon, right?
Really putting your thumb on the scale there.
Nice. Yeah, let's go for the Crate Dragon, I think. Cool. You work your way through the waste. You see the Bantha trail tracks, but they all seem to be leading away from the area. And you come through the deserts and you can see that there is a long like debris trail coming up. You can see that it looks like the Gundark came down hard, plowing a furrow through the sand like a mini canyon. But you can see like the broken body of this freighter against the horizon. And as you approach, you see an Ardenian, and he waves it with his thing, and he waves at you as you come in. He's like, "Ah, thank God you're out here. You must be Darklighters, man. I've been waiting for it for days. I had a close call. There was some of those Tusken guys, those sand people out there, but hey, they just took off. I don't know why. Here, help me fix this, will ya?" And he's like over to one of the engines, and he bangs it, and he bangs it again, and it kicks up a load of dust, and it just like woof on it, starts jagging, like, shaking against the rock floor that it's become embedded on. And he's like, 2 more of these and we'll be able to fly this baby out of here. She'll fly again, the Gundark. And he raises the thing bottle to you as you bring it up, and that's when you hear the noise. And as you're driving your speeder up, right?
Mhm.
I'm imagining Quake and Faelun are in the cab, right? And the others are on the back of the bed.
Yeah.
I think I'm in the back of the bed as well because I had to fire on these
Okay.
guys.
So Faelun is driving, and the other 3 are sort of like holding onto the side of the thing, right?
Yeah.
And just for the sake of it, I think if you look on the character keeper for the Racina Waste, you'll now see what the whirl is as it starts to come in over the top of you guys. You see it off on the horizon, and Reenjax points out and says, if that thing doesn't get us, it's basically the storm from Mad Max. Yeah. Guess what would have happened if you tried to fly your ship in there? Guess what happened to him? But anyways, you're driving along, and then behind you, Zop, Tags, Quake, you just see this huge maw open up behind you, and it bursts out of the sand, coming straight for the engines. And Reenjax can't hear over the whir of the broken turbo lifts. He's just cramming it in there again as you bring it in. What do you do, Tags?
We need to go faster. I mean, she has a blaster pistol. She sees a giant storm and a crate dragon and realizes this blaster pistol, not very good use against either of those two threats. So she is desperately hoping that we can just pour on the speed and get out of the way. She's
Okay.
willing to help, however.
So the crate dragon is coming up like right behind the speeder.
Yeah, you know, it's in the classic kind of like there was a shaking in the sand behind you, and suddenly there's this maw blotting out like the sky behind you, bigger than the speeder, bigger than the cargo speeder.
Oh,
And it has a jagged scar going across one of its like void-like eyes.
Zop is gonna grab like what looks just like a bag of sand from his vest, and he throws it as best as he can into the maw of the crate dragon. This would be my explosive powders.
Oh, nice. Your explosive powders. I think this is a kick some shebs with your explosive powders, because you can see it like as you know, Phelan swerves the fishtails the speeder as it around a rock, and this acidic spray comes out of the mouth, like splashing against the side. So it's chasing you. But you know, you take your moment, you throw the sand back in, the explosive powder.
Kick some shebs. That's a 7. Oh,
I'll help.
Okay.
I've got the power of heart.
Yes, you do have the power
oh,
of heart.
excellent. Yeah, that's right.
Oh, help as though you automatically help as though you rolled a 10. Wow.
Yeah. So that pushes it up to a 10. What do you do with your 10? And then we can narrate as Tags tackles you out of the way of the acid spray. Right. What would you like to do, Greg?
Oh, I think it goes off like the powders go in. I don't think this is probably nearly enough to make it like die or anything, but it like probably gouts of flame now shoot out from its mouth as it crunches down on the explosive. It's now probably really ticked off. The acid comes out. Yeah, go ahead.
You've got you inflict terrible harm, you suffer less harm, or you force them where you want. I think are the three things.
I will force them where I want, which is I'm kind of getting them away from the ship, so we've got a little time. And then I think when the gout of acid comes and Tags saves me, Zop says something about, "Oh, thank you, Finst," which is, of course,
Tag's name, yeah, friend's name, yeah. So that's 1 harm AP that's coming your way. I think that you get hit by that spray and like you stagger backwards, and then that's when Tag gets you out of the way of the second volley that's coming for your way, you know, and the fumes, and then that exploding, the billowing smoke, right? And you force it where you want it, and I'm taking this as like driving it off temporarily, right? Like that's where you want them.
I still can do something, right?
Yes, you can do something, yeah.
Because what I wanted to do while this was going on, I wanted to jump onto the back of that thing.
Wait, what are you
definitely
doing?
Do that, yeah.
It's gotta have some vulnerable point at some place, right? And jumping into its maw.
Do you want to read a bad situation for?
No, I don't want to read a bad situation. I want to get on its back.
Okay. So it roars and it like staggers. It rears up, right? Like, and then comes crashing down heavily behind you, sending like the back of the cargo speeder like tipping upwards, which is, I imagine, when Quake does a 300 style Sparta leap off the back onto the
Sure. And then I can go and read a bad situation, but first I need to get there.
Okay. I'm looking forward to this combination of dice rolls.
I mean, I don't, but yeah, sure. So this is probably act under pressure, right?
Yes, it definitely acts under pressure to jump onto the back of an apex predator of Tatooine.
Yeah, and you know what? I want to bottle it up and use a +2 bonus for this because I really want to get there in one piece.
By the way, if you'd asked around, Scar apparently got this from a wizard who used to live out in the waste towards Mos Eisley.
Okay. So I rolled a bonus plus 4. That's a 9.
It's a 9.
Mhm. And you get plus 2 a whole that you can use against me now.
Because you used a move, right?
Or can I? The question is, I can
this is
take
to
up to
get-
plus 3. Can I do that after rolling? Because I would then take plus 3 to get to a 10.
Oh, so you are using bottle it up immediately.
Yeah.
then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Then I
yeah. So
go to
you
go to a 10.
you go to a 10,
Mhm.
and I have 3 hold to use against you.
Yeah.
On subtracting from other moves.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I wanted to get there.
Okay. So you get there perfectly. You land it. You sprawl across, and you manage to
I've
dig your
surfed
hand
with
into
Jedi.
this.
I know how to jump.
Yes, yeah, and you recognize what looks like a lightsaber furrow running through those plates, which gives you just enough room to stick your hand in and grab hold, right? Like riding this dragon as it rears back.
And I took my vibro blade with me, so that that seems like the will of the Force almost, right?
Mm-hmm. I mean, it must be the will of the Force. Otherwise, how did you end up here?
Yeah, and there is a lightsaber scar where I can stick my vibroblade in.
Cool. So this has all happened. I'd just like to quickly check in with Feilun driving the speeder. You see Reenjax turns around and takes off his ear protector. Oh my! Quick!
Yeah. So just pausing for a moment, making sure I understand the whole situation. Our bounty was frantically trying to repair his ship that's stranded out here in the wastes. There's a massive storm coming, and also this crate dragon. So we've got like 2 things converging. But a lot of our bounty is bound up in getting the ship and its cargo back. Yeah.
Ship and/or its cargo. Yes.
How much of its cargo could we fit into our hover thing if we just focused on
enough for the 2 bounty?
So the question is, do I want to be like, let's try and repair these engines real quick, or do you want to be like, abandon ship, put the cargo, load the cargo in here?
I mean, for dramatic purposes, let's say that the cargo hold of the freighter has been damaged and the doors are stuck open, providing a very perfect place to slide a speeder in, right? Like as it's chased by a crate dragon.
Yeah, sure. I think I like, I say like, Quake, I hope you know what you're doing. As I pull the speeder in, onto the ship, and then
I think at full speed this is an act under pressure.
Yeah. All right.
Because it's also, you notice the Tabana gas modules all have highly explosive
That's
labels
true.
on the side.
That's true. The cargo is all this stuff that powers spaceship weapons. Yeah. All right. Cool. I'm going to try and bring us in for a smooth landing here. As I shout to what's his name, our target, Lablo, hit the deck, right? Like whatever I need to say to get him to not be right in our way.
Wait, that's Tabana gas. You can't.
Out of the way. Yeah, and I am gonna roll to act under pressure. Under pressure. No. It's a 4.
Call for aid.
Yeah. Who do we have here? I will say,
who could even help in this sort of situation, because it's got to be fictionally
I'll like, as I realize we're not stopping quite soon enough, I'm like, Zop, extra break now, trying to convey that I need him to stab his vibro blade into something to slow
Into
us
the
down.
sand.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, into the side of the hole, maybe, or
Yeah,
like
yeah,
the
into
rock.
the
Yeah,
metal.
like shink,
Okay.
like
Okay, so this would be
This is what we call the emergency brake maneuver.
and this would be plus cool for acting under pressure.
hmm
Okay. Yeah, and Zop uses his cybernetic arm because it's just the stronger side, right? Here we go. That is an 8, which means I think it does get boosted, right?
Yeah, I
does
get
get
boosted
boosted.
to a 7 to 9, and you also share in the consequences of that.
Excellent. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Zop takes his hand and grabs one side, maybe puts the dagger blade in the other side to like slow.
Yes, and I think that the consequence of that is that you're both going to take 2 harm, as you manage to avoid the row of Tabana gas containers, but you do slam them straight, the speeder straight into the bulkhead. And Zop basically like slewed you just out of the way of crashing straight into the explosive material. And Fei Lung goes, whereas Zop is nearly torn in half, and Tags just rolls around on the back of the bed, like probably like rolls off and lands gently on the sand, right? Like,
Yes.
yeah.
I love that.
Oof. Okay, could have been worse. Could have been better.
You guys
You
okay?
guys are
I'm fine.
crazy. You guys are crazy. No, wait, he's crazy. And he points out the back towards Quake, who's riding this sandworm.
Yeah,
Right.
remember, we're the sane ones.
Yeah. So Quake, it is not. Scar is not pleased. It seems to have abandoned its pursuit of the speeder. It is now concerned with whatever this morsel is on its back, and this pain in its mouth. What do you do, Quake? Do you read the bad situation that you put yourself in?
I think I need to find a weakness.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was sharp, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And you've still got 2 hold, I believe, that you can spend on bottle it. Oh, that's just
Mhm.
for act under pressure, isn't it? I think actually.
No, that's for no. I have no idea what I'm doing here. I've got a 5.
Got a 5. Does bottle it up allow you to spend it on other things?
Nope.
No.
Only
Mm-mm.
act under pressure.
Only act
No.
under pressure.
No. I have no idea.
What am I doing here? I mean, I think it's the same thing, you know, as the actual answer would be, is the vulnerable point. Yeah, it's that bit that Zop just threw a explosive powder in. It's the mouth. And as you realize that you're now in the back, which is quite a hard place to find the thing, Scar rolls like in the sand, flinging you across the dirt and the gravel. Yeah, and then it burrows under the ground and it bursts back out, coming towards you as you pick yourself back up again.
But the vulnerable part is the mouth, and nobody's throwing explosive powder at it at the moment.
No, it's smoke still billowing from as it lets out a huge roar, and it's now coming towards you, looking like it's gonna just completely.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm banking on.
Okay.
Because it's got to be more vulnerable on the inside. And I mean, I can survive in vacuum for 2 minutes with that.
Yes. Let's just hope you don't hit the teeth on the way down.
Yeah, well, that's why I have to time this right.
Yes, indeed. So is this another act under pressure to time it right, do you think?
I think so, yeah. I wouldn't know what else. I don't have particular moves about going into crate dragons.
I mean, I'd say that technically this is a kick some shebs, but I'd like you to be able to use your bottle it up, because you are exchanging harm with the crate dragon. It'd just be, you'd have to get a very good success not to.
I need to get into the right position and inside this thingy.
Yes, yeah.
And then I can start taking out my blaster and just blastering it from the inside. I guess that will give it indigestion. It also might ruin my poor armor a little because it's acidic, but you know.
Let's go.
Always
for that.
funny when inside the monster is the most advantageous position.
Let's go with that act under pressure then. Let's see how it how the timing of this goes.
Yeah.
Back on the
I'll-
ship, you hear you guys like, oh my God, that poor brave son of a bitch.
Amazing.
Tags, don't take this as tutorial here.
Oh, I could never pull this off.
I have an 8.
You have an 8? Have you spent
Yeah.
your bottle it up?
That gives you 2 more to use against me.
No, it doesn't. No, do I get?
Yeah.
I see. I only get 1 for 1. I
Yeah.
see.
You've already got 3 from the last.
I've already
bottle
got
it up.
3.
Oh, I've already got
so-
3 from the. I've already got 3 from the last one.
Yeah.
You said.
I have an
Yeah, dude.
idea how Zop might be able to aid if that's something you're interested in, Sabine.
Okay. I would love. I'm not.
mean, he's going to have to because I'm going to spend all 3 of those, and now it's a miss.
Oh, but it wasn't it this an act under pressure? You can't spend bottle it up, hold on, and act under pressure.
Oh, I
But
can
yes,
use it
you
on any
can.
move.
That hold can be spent later, 1/1, -1 on any move except act under pressure. Ha ha. can use it for something else.
Okay. Yes. Well, I think it might be worth it, Zop, because I'll be honest
Yeah.
with you,
Yeah,
the consequences for
Okay.
messing it up are very high.
So Zop is as soon as we get in here, Zop like gets himself back together, sees Quake pulling off this absolutely crazy move, runs to the ship's guns, throws on, hits the power, is diverting everything away from the engines, and is just blasting into the crate dragon to get that one little hesitation that Quake needs to get this through. So I think that's aiding plus tough
That's aiding plus tech.
plus tech. Oh,
Tech. Oh yeah. Okay.
all right. That's a -1. Here we go. Zop, so much help.
We'll see.
That's a 1.
Ooh. That's
R.I.P. Quake.
Yeah. I mean, fictionally, I'm not sure
actually, is that protect someone?
how. It would be protect someone if. No, because
Yeah, okay.
you're specifically doing it to help them out with this move,
Right,
rather than
right,
stop them,
right, okay.
prevent the harm from coming to them. Preventing the harm from coming to them is like running and tackling them out of the way, right?
Yeah.
But you're gonna fire that thing, and I think that on a 1, you hear Reenjax's voice go like, "No, wait, the barrel's bent," and then take 2 harm. Zop. Your armor doesn't.
Quake, you better get out of that thing. I'm about to die.
As you come rolling back out of the gunner's turret, right, like on fire still. Quake. That puts you on a 7 as the Scar's teeth close around you, and you have made it in. But the price is, I think the price to pay is that you are inside, but you are now you are like trapped inside. There is no getting out of here. It is dark, and in fact, you guys see Scar swallows whole and then burrows under the ground.
oops. It's not great.
Yeah.
No.
That is not great.
So Quake, I think we're in that moment of like, I tell you what, Quake disappears, and I think that back on the ship, right, Reenjax looks around and goes, "Oh God, the storm's coming back in. Listen, if we're gonna fly this thing out of here, we gotta get it fixed now."
We are going to get out of here. We are going to survive. Reenjax, Tags, I need you to follow my instructions exactly. And then I'm going to start like reeling off, what I think needs to be done to get these engines, working. Not like working pretty, but working enough to, drag this ship out of the way of the dragon and the storm.
Nice. I think this is another make a plan, frankly.
Yeah, this time it's a plan about being smart. I think.
Yes.
Where basically Falloon is like pushing down all emotions here, right? And
Mhm.
just focusing on how are we going to make all the technical moves we need to reassemble the exactly what the pieces of the engines that we most need and not the other ones in order to pull this ship out of harm's way. So I'm going to roll with sharp, if that sounds right.
Yes, and I think you have after all of the factors to take into account, you have a net +1 as well, because you have plenty of resources and people, accurate and current information, but there is significant opposition that would interfere with the plan. So,
You think? Yeah,
Yeah.
significant opposition out there.
Sure.
+3 total, I think.
Yeah. Tags, I guess I want to just check. Are you willing and able to to assist with these repairs, despite the loss of Quake?
Freaking out a little bit, maybe crying just a little bit, like sniffling for sure, like wiping at her eyes, but she's working hard. She's going to do this. Now, Falloon, you're her only hope.
Help me, Falloon. You're my only hope. Yeah, Falloon is like, not super great with emotions. So like isn't like responding in any way to your distress, just like laser focused on executing this plan. Right. Time to be sharp. Plan, get a +2 modifier and 2d6. Wait. You said there's an additional +1 from the support. That brings it up to a 7.
Wow. Okay. So that is a 7 on that. So this is what you guys are. You guys are all hands on deck, right? Well, like, and there's a sort of like moment of like, we can't grieve for Quake. We need to move, kind of thing. We cut to inside, like just noise. It's like in the darkness. Maybe like a little, like a little light on the clone trooper armor or something like suddenly lights up, and it's very wet and dark and close inside of here.
That's when you use the vibroblade, right?
And now I think this is a kick some shebs. You've negated all of Scar's armor here.
Yeah. Okay. That's when you can use the -3. Sorry, but I've got a +1 because I'm tough.
And do I do it before the roll or after the roll?
No, you can do it after the roll.
Okay, well, that's good.
It's a 10.
That's a 10. Well, I am gonna spend one of those holds just because I have it, and I would hate to not use it.
Yeah, fair.
Brings it down to an exchange harm. So the rest of you see suddenly like the dragon bursts through the sand again, and it starts to come back towards it, and then suddenly it lets out a bellow of pain and like twists and arcs away from the ship as inside. How much damage does your vibroblade do?
Yeah, it does.
2, I think, right?
Does it do that? Yeah, I'll have to look it up. It does 2 harm and messy. It's messy.
2 harm, messy, even better. You know what the messy part is that as you cut into it, acid all over. You're going to take 2 harm AP, I think, because you are surrounded by it.
Yeah, that's fair. That I will. I have an armor of 2, so I guess that gets eaten by the armor, and then after I would have to eat the harm myself.
It's armor piercing.
Oh, it's armor piercing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's okay.
That's what AP stands for.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Although I think I prefer fictionally that this it doesn't get through to you. Actually, your armor starts to corrode entirely, though. So your armor is going to, after this attack, it's taken. It's not AP so much as armor destroying. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So your armor is now damaged if we.
Yeah. That's kind of bad. But so I did some damage on it, right?
You did some damage. You bought more time. I think it's one more roll to get yourself to do enough damage to get spat out here.
Okay.
As it writhes around, and Ringjax is like, "What the hell's wrong with that thing?"
Maybe
I think your friend gave it
that didn't agree with it.
Yeah, your friend gave it indigestion. we should get out of here while we got the chance. Quickly, get the repulsor lifts are coming on now, like the engine's whirring away. The cargo speed is like kind of half propped outside, like draped out the back of the thingy, the doors itself.
Ooh, I'll try pulling in that cargo because that's some money. That's bounty for us. So I'll try to pull in the cargo and see if we can secure it.
Yeah. P.S. This is not. This is a game where the bounties pay, not the let's scavenge everything that's around and loot all the bodies kind of thing. Because I did play this before, and every play was like, we take all of their pistols, we go through all their pockets, we see everything that they got, and I'm like, it's not significant cash. But yeah, you're definitely getting better with the dark lighters if you can return their truck to them afterwards.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll be very understanding if we're like, thanks for letting us borrow your speeder.
They'll be less pissed off. So I think that you're lifting off. You're pulling away, like it's like the wind's like starting to scour across, like the first wave of it, right? And it's pulling across, and you have to like fly over the top of like Scar. It's like coming straight towards your heading, like so let's see if Quake can blast his way out of this just in time to grab onto the landing gear. And
I'm a little interested in taking a shot at Scar in case that would be helpful.
Yeah, certainly might be. Yeah,
because I have this precise strike move to aim for a weak spot on a quarry.
Yeah.
Now, am I reading it correctly that that's something I roll after I've inflicted harm with a move like kick some shebs? That it's kind of a bonus roll to see if I do extra damage?
No, I think it's just replaces the kick some shebs, I think.
All right. I'm happy to roll with that and say that, like, as we have, once we're like in the air, it looks like we might be able to make it out. I'm going to take a shot at this worm, not necessarily even thinking that there's any chance of Quake getting out, just because I'm channeling all my emotions into wanting to do a last damage to this monster. So I think
this
probably
is for Quake. Smile, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Probably just pull my slug thrower, right? And so like be like leaning out some, because you said the like cargo hatch was busted, right? So like leaning out to like busted open cargo hatch and just line up the slug thrower to take
in the cockpit. Reenjax is struggling with the thing, and he looks at tags and he says, "Quick! I need my my co-pilot," and he points at a bottle on the side of the shelf.
Of course. Bottles. Co-pilot. Yes, hand over a bottle. That's such great.
Suddenly his nerves steady a bit more, So Alexei, I think actually reading the moves, you'd be right with the kicks and shebs and everything, but I think that under the fiction and everything, with the fact that Scar is wide open, bellowing its mouth open, right, his vulnerable spots exposed, you can just make that shot, and it's more about whether or not perhaps you fall off the ship as you take the shot.
Because on a miss, I leave myself open to the monster. Cool. All right, so we'll say that like I'm able to land the shot, and now I'm rolling precise strike for the result of the move. So it's with tough, which is it's 0. This is a flat roll.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy. Yeah. Why not? It's a one shot. Drive him like you stole him. 7.
You inflict +1 harm on top of the
3 harm of the slug thrower.
3 harm of the slug thrower, and I'm going to say that bypasses the damage. The armored scales entirely, because you do catch it just in that mouth. Inside the thing, there's suddenly a bellow and a roar, and then like something ripples past you, Quake, and you can see daylight as the mouth opens. Do you take one last swing in here, or do you leap for the opening?
My armor's gone. I don't need this thing to be dead. I just need it. It seems to be wounded very heavily, so I want to get out now. This will leave. This is an animal. It will leave us alone if we damage it enough. And and I think it has learned its lesson. So yeah, I'm getting out of here.
Nice. I'd like you to act under pressure to escape it. I'm imagining like grabbing hold of one of these like internal teeth that is like, you know, crushes
Yeah.
inside, pulling yourself forward as it bellows at the sky, and you can see the like the wash of the ship coming over, the hull of the ship coming over the Scar's mouth. Down on the landing strut, obviously Phelan like swears and reloads her and then can see a face inside of the mouth, like the maw coming up.
Yeah, let me roll this first.
I know, but either way, you can see.
It's
And
a
you know-
9.
you know,
I'll
it's-
bottle it. I'll give you one more. I'll bottle it off. I'll go on a 10 here. I want to get out of this.
Well, I am gonna spend it's a 9, 2 more. That'd be down to a 7.
You
You
can't
can't.
spend
It's
it on
act
bottle
under
it up.
Oh, yeah, I
pressure.
can't
Under
spend it on
pressure, yeah.
matching the pressure.
But
of
I'm
course,
giving
of
you
course.
one more because I can bottle it
Okay.
up some more.
Okay, so you
Get a 10.
so do you explode out of Scar's maw, swinging your way onto the dangling landing strut of the ship, coated in, you know, fume, acid damage, corroded things.
Yeah, I think I'll need to get rid of the armor right now before it starts corroding me.
For
But I will-
fiction, I'll like lower some Duracord down to try and help the hull quake back
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, and I'll say when I'm up, I say I think it will leave us alone now. I think it's learned its lesson.
It thrashes those little tentacles like around its face, like flailing in the air, and then it crashes back down into the sand with a mournful and that's when the first bit of the whirl whips against the side of the yeah, you're right, Lexi. And then you know, Reenjax takes you up and it holds, and he's like, we got this. You did good work here, guys. I never seen anyone work so fast. Engines 1, 2, 3, 2, 1. Oh, hold on. We're coming in hard again. And you're gonna come in. And this is the consequence of the your plan going awry.
Yeah, there's 7 on the plan. Yeah.
Is the fact that you do get the ship away, you get it away from Scar, you get away from the whirl, but what's going to happen is that this is too much for the Gundark. In fact, the whole side of it, as that engine's turned on, one of them was just a bit too overpowered, and it just rips away from the side of the ship, and it comes crashing down much closer to Mostracina. But you are going to unfortunately have to abandon the Gundark. It is just the cargo that you can take. Luckily, Tags brought the cargo hauler back inside.
Yeah. So like,
You're welcome, guys. We've got the cargo hauler.
do we see us just like, you know, picking our way out of like the rubble of the ship, loading the cargo into the cargo hauler, putting Zop on top of it? Like Zop's, you know, definite. Zop and Quake are both, you know, in worse for wear. I take it.
I'm not. I'm totally fine.
Quake is just armorless.
Yeah, I'm just armorless. But if I see Sob, I will. Oh, okay. You need medical attention, my friend. Good thing you have your medic back.
Yeah, Zop is like, oh, I'm fine, and then just like coughs some blood up. Oh, that's okay. He's obviously a little disoriented and not okay.
I will go to you and I say, okay, you have 2 options here. You can stay conscious and dispute that you're hurt. And no, you can admit that you're hurt, then you can stay conscious while I treat you, or I sedate you. That's your options. Otherwise, there is no other thing. I mean, you can start fighting me, but
I'm okay. And
okay,
you'll have to sedate
you.
him.
I'll sedate you.
Do you want to roll medic?
Oh yeah, I can do that. Oh wow.
So many minuses. Oh no.
Yeah, it's -3. And I mean, I feel that this would. Oh, I could kill you with that, right? Oh well, I probably won't. Probably won't though. I roll this with cool. Yeah, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we decide how cruel Will is feeling, whether he applies the minuses to this one.
It's a 9, so he can now go and kill Zop, but that is I don't. I
I'm not
feel
going to
like
kill
it's too cruel.
Zop. You can stabilize Zop.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll stabilize the injury. Right.
Nice. So Zop, back to spray. Like mummied up in the back of this this hauler as like Tabana gas is loaded around him, and you just see Reendrax. Like I think the shot is like quite far back, on the dunes, just silhouettes like figures on the dune, and you just see Reed, this 4-armed Ardenian, kneeling down, hands in 2 of his arms, and then the other 2 arms open a bottle and just pour out the remains of it for the Gundark as he says goodbye to his baby.
Just be glad you and the ship didn't end up in the bottom of that dragon's belly.
Well, at least Darklighter will pay a good price for this.
Yeah, we hear he's very interested in this cargo.
Cut to loading it back onto the. I think that the best thing to do is to have it cut over to, you load the cargo up onto your own ship, right? And it's cramped, so now every last remaining area of this is filled with Tabana gas, right? Like you've got it in the crew quarters.
Oh yeah, that sounds super safe.
You're all just like huddled up in the cockpit. And Reendrax is like, Vermros, and he's just drinking from his thing, and he's like quite drunk now, and he goes like, I didn't know any better. I see you guys were bounty hunters. But this is a Beshtek ship, so there's no way you'd be bringing me in for Beshtek.
And and I say, absolutely not. Have another drink, because I push another glass over to him. He's gonna save us the trouble of stunning him if he just drinks himself into a stupor.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell him, I just look like a bounty hunter. Get that all the time.
And of course, this is as you leave Tatooine with your cargo, heading back to the guild house to exchange it and hopefully not have any interaction with Beshtek itself, right? That's when you see what would be the name of a good private? We have a private security firm anywhere, Rich?
Wow, that's a great question.
Oh shoot, there was that group that Beshtek sent to kill all the miners on they're mercenaries, right? So they could be working for whoever Will wants them to be working for.
Yeah, whoever those are, these are those people. This is private security ship. What's a good name for it? The Invigilator. Heat blur, please stand down. You are carrying, yes, the Invigilator. Yes.
And the group was called the Kessis Raiders.
Oh, it's those Kessis Raiders.
Yeah,
yes,
nice. You're
nice.
so
Do they
fast.
fit here for this? For
Yeah,
these purposes?
perfect.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. This is the Invigilator of the Kessis Raiders. You're harboring a wanted felon, Feilun. Beshtek demands their property back. And you hear Reendrax go, they don't even know. They don't even know that it's filled with. And 2 TIE interceptors are deployed, screeching towards the heat blur. And you wonder, why does your transponder just identify you as exactly who you are, right? That would be, wait, the transponder seems to be broken.
And
the transponder's broken.
And I mutter, Karkid Jawas. Zop, can you take the interceptors?
Yeah.
Because we do
Sure.
have. Do we? I'm forgetting what we decided
Sounds
about the
really
ship.
hurt. I've got it.
Do we?
Yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah, Taz has got it.
I need to put a note in there about the ship, but in the rules, I say the ship has got by default some basic blasters. It has.
We don't have fancy blasters, but we got some basic blasters.
Yeah. You know, you have a
Your
hyperdrive.
blasters are so basic.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
Basic.
Zop's like Taz has got it, because Zop is like still holding a wound, just really been stitched together, not really fixed at all.
I'm imagining
Yeah.
Zop tries to drag himself up the
No,
ladders
no,
and then just gets shoved back down.
Stop says where
Yeah.
he is. He's not in a shade to shoot at stuff right now, unless it was really desperate, which I could stim him up, but that would probably kill him. So if we have a
So-
choice, maybe not.
The Cassis Raiders come screeching in towards you, tanks.
Oh man, this is great. This is just like on the Desert Flower. I'll bring them in, and I'm gonna kick some shabs.
I think actually, I think it is an act under pressure to use the turrets. I didn't like.
Okay.
I think yeah, and they made a note that kick some shebs will never be applicable, basically, because it's all kind of like reflexes and targeting, and you're not really exchanging damage between you both. You know what I mean? It's the ship that's going to take the damage there.
Okay. Then I'm worse at it. Yay!
Yes. It always annoys me, kind of like being good at gunnery doesn't mean that you're good in a fight, right? So, like,
Sure.
yeah,
Sure. Except in Star Wars, where you're good at everything. Jump on a speeder
yeah,
bike.
of course. Yeah.
That is a 6.
That is a 6.
I'll eat it.
You'll eat
an
it.
XP.
Nice. Yeah, you eat it, which means that the ship eats it, which means that your heavy armor is several panels of it are blown away. So the
These
ship.
guys are really fast.
So you've lost both your stealth transponder and your reinforced hull. Damage from here on is going to start to, eat away at the ship's core systems, potentially your cargo.
Or do we have more than one blaster?
I have a stockpile of
The-
powerful and rare weapons and items
Oh.
aboard the ship.
Nice.
Mhm.
Can I check through, see if I've got something that will get us out of this? Like that thing that that Boba Fett's ship drops, and then it like goes out and then takes out the multiple ships chasing him. Can I just check if we got an extra one of those lying around?
Seismic deep charge or something like that.
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
Yes, I like it. Go for it.
Go for it.
All right, so this is a roll plus tech to see if I have the special weapon I need. So yeah, checking for that weapon. That's a 9. So it says on a 7-9 you have it, but only the minimum.
Okay. You've got one shot on this. Quake. As Faelun yells out about the seismic mine that's rattling around in the workshop, do you run over to you grab it, and I guess you run over to the
I'm saying, Quake, you got to open the top drawer. Do not open the bottom drawer under any circumstances. But in the top drawer, there's a single seismic chart, right? And like just giving these like detailed instructions to get the like one, our one piece of ordnance.
Okay. I will follow these instructions right now. I will totally go look at the bottom drawer. Eventually.
So I'm imagining this is you firing out of the one of the hatch, like the dumping hatches, right? Like the garbage hatch kind of thing.
Yep.
And blowing it out, right? So I think that's another act under pressure.
Oh, cool. I'm good with that.
You are good with that.
Okay. It's a 9, another 9.
Another 9.
I wouldn't mind some help though. Maybe from Tax.
I'd love to help. I've got the power of heart. So I just do it.
Nice. I think that's perfect. I think that you no, I got this one, and you track with the gun turret, right? Like then you send it, like the mine was actually flying off into the darkness, but you make this one TIE fighter do a barrel roll straight into the path of the mine, and then boom, and the other one like gets blown off, spiraling into space as one of them just goes up entirely. You're home free, kid. Reenjacks goes, you're home free, kid. Let's blow this joint.
Everyone's like, can't say this has been the best job, but Lablo, you are one of my favorite bounties.
Wait, what? As he's pouring you a drink. Cheers. You know, like, I think you even say that as you clink the glasses.
As we
right?
clink the
Like,
glasses,
anything.
yeah.
What? And we are at 10 minutes too. So I'd like to, you make it back. The heat blur has really seen better days. Its hull is damaged. The transponder has been ripped out by a set of Jawas, just leaving behind, half of what was there. You were one more damage away from picking up another flaw, such as, the damaged parts or unreliable or whatever. But you come crashing down, and Reenjacks drinks himself into a stupor and is, the epilogue for Reenjacks is that he is taken back. You get 5 bounty each now. So you can all put 5 bounty in your bounty bank.
And we can spend that on healing or on drive.
Yes, so healing or drive or repairing your gear or repairing the ship. However, the ship also has an upkeep of 4 to meet. So do you each get rid of one, or do you say goodbye to the heat blur because it breaks down after all this damage and you can't even afford to keep it going?
I gotta hold on to the heat blur. I will put 2 into the heat blur, and I just hope that enough of the rest of my crew chips in as well.
I will chip in with at least one stash and see where it's going. Might give you more, but start off with 1. I need to repair my armor.
So, Rich, you're muted.
I'll throw in 1. It's only right. Tags.
It is so fitting that Zop is the only one not to throw in 1.
I've got a lot of harm to heal.
You do, yeah. It's also the most in character move of everything, even though it was by default. So the ship doesn't get any worse. The heat blur remains. You've paid all of that off. Otherwise, I would have started damaging like core systems such as you no longer have any shields, you no longer have any sensors, you no longer have any whatever. And at the state of damage that you've taken already, I would have just said the heat blur is a hunk of junk and sits impounded on the dock until someone pays to get it back. So yes. Does anyone? So I'll tell you about the healing rules just for the sake of it, just so you can see what you've got left over. Healing is 1 stash to heal 3 harm, or 2 stash to heal all harm.
And does any harm recover automatically, or
1 harm recovers automatically?
I will take that. I'll take that 1 harm and just limp along with 2 harm marked here, because I gotta save up to move my miners somewhere safe.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, I can still try to heal you because I'm a medic. And we have time now, and I can just go and treat you.
If you want to quickly do that
on our way back. I mean, it could get worse, but it probably won't.
Yeah, we can. Well, except of course, Will's still holding that hold that can subtract from your rolls.
Mm-hmm. And I have no other chance of using it.
Right. Well, we don't know that.
Roll a 10 and I can't do anything. Really.
Well, I'll just roll.
All right, take the roll quick, and we'll see if
it's down to 9 now. You heal 1 extra harm. No, you heal 2 harm.
You heal 2 harm.
You heal 2 harm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, cool. So I am all good. Quake comes over, patches me up. I'm like,
nice.
Thanks, Quake.
Nice.
I'm glad the dragon didn't eat you permanently.
So am I. So interesting. Going to Tatooine, you meet interesting wildlife, I have to say. Rancors, great dragons.
So you can also spend stash to give yourself XP. It would cost you 1 stash to repair a piece of gear that was damaged. Worst consequence would be like your gear is entirely destroyed rather than just damaged, and then you'd have to buy it back, and it would cost like 3 stash maybe, depending on what it is. Uh,
Man, I gotta get my board fixed.
you want to spend the stash now and fix it?
Yep, doing it.
Yeah. Nice.
Did you fill up your XP track also, Rich?
I just filled up my XP track, which takes me down to 2 stash.
And Zop pretty much spent his entire
On drive.
stash
Yep.
on drive, and
2
didn't you-
to heal harm and 3 on drive.
3 on drive. Nice. Now I think that's everything bookkeeping wise. You can obviously carry over your stash quick to another session of Bounty of the Week, or you can
Yeah,
spend it now.
I'll just spend it for XP and thingy drive.
It's interchangeable really at that point. Now, last 5 minutes. Does anyone want to try that retirement move? Oh, you're not quite there yet.
I'm interested in rolling a retirement move for Zop, the drive move. Yeah,
Yeah. Let's give the drive move a go then.
just to see if the Tanwa clan works out. So I believe that's a -1 for having 3 drive. If I'm not mistaken.
I think
3
so.
drive -1. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, it's a -1.
That's a 9. That's not bad. You achieve your drive, but it costs you something. Describe the compromise you make or the cost you pay to finally achieve your goal. Describe what becomes of your bounty hunter. So,
And this is the goal of uniting the Tenwa clan diaspora under your leadership.
yes, and becoming the leader. So I think Zop gets out of the back to tank that's required to get him back into fighting shape. And the Bith Foza is there. And he is wearing like a ceremonial Tanwa clan robe at this point. And says you were ready for it to happen. And there's like a couple other representatives come in, and Zop is kind of sworn in as the leader of the Tanwa clan, but what he has to give up something though.
Well, I have a suggestion for
Sure.
You do unite the Tenwa clan, right? And it does kind of not really fly with what you've just described so far, Sally, but my idea would be that you do unite the Tenwa clan against Zop.
Oh.
I mean, which could
Maybe
be you become
Zop
the
is
leader,
briefly the leader, and then
deposed in a coup.
screws
Yeah.
something
very
up.
quickly deposed.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
becomes like the common enemy that holds together the whole clan.
Oh,
To keep the portrait of you in the leader's regalia, so that's the thing, right?
yeah. Deposed.
I don't think
Sent off.
maybe the common enemy, because I'd like Zop to still be able to be part of the initiate Tenwa clan moveset, right? If he
okay,
comes
yeah.
back. But
Oh no, I could be the wronged now.
you could be the wronged by your own kind.
Oh man, that's
Oh
harsh.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's leave that up for you to choose for next
Yeah,
one. But we know that
like
at the end of it, we see Zop greeting his people, and then cut to sometime later, several months later,
Zop
there is
back in the
running
room of some ship.
running away
Yes.
as blaster bolts and angry Rhodian knights come after him, right? Yeah. Nice. Thank you very much, guys. We're hard up on the hour now. I think that's the end of everybody's stuff. If you've got 5 minutes for stars and wishes, that'd be great, but I know that time is close for some people. So if
I
everyone's
can
good,
do stars and wishes.
cool. Okay.
Do you want that
Stop the
recorded,
recording?
or do you want?
No, you can
Stop.
stop. Bye, guys.
Okay.
May the force be with you.